Hello everyone and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today we're doing something I've been thinking about doing for quite a long time, and I just got the urge to do this. There has been a lot of negativity around Destiny, and taking a break and whatnot is definitely a great time, but I thought since we're in a content drought and there's not much else going on, that we would delve into some of my personal favorite Destiny soundtracks over the years. This is going to date all the way back to Destiny 1, and we're going over the top 10, or DylonSan's top 10 Destiny tracks throughout the years. This is going to be my own personalized list, so take everything, as opinions here. I think these are the ones, at least, that I've listened to the most, the ones that I enjoy the most, and personally believe enhance the game so much. Music is definitely the one of the best parts of this game, and yeah, I'm in love with it. And without further ado, let's start with number 10 from Destiny 2's Lightfall expansion, All That Matters. This is such a nice little tune here. This is the music you first hear when re-entering the farm during Season of Defiance, and it is everything I remembered. If you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, that's what this track reminds me of, and it makes you feel at home. If you remember, All That Matters are the last words we hear Amanda Holiday utter in Season of Defiance, and this track hits even harder after knowing that knowledge, and its significance is there. I know Amanda's been referred to as a core character. She certainly wasn't that, but she was a cool one at least, and man, I don't know, this track just makes you feel like you're right at home. With that, we move to a much more heavy track here for number 9, and that is going to be none other than one of the best bops if you're ever marching or power walking, Cabal, Stomp. There was something about hearing this one for the first time and fighting Cabal that just made you feel like a badass. I don't know what it was, but it just feels good. This is a classic, and you can't go wrong with it. We've gotten so many renditions of this throughout the years. The one most notably in Proving Grounds is kind of a remix, or at least it has the same melody, and that's a really good track. That is definitely going to end up in the honorable mentions, but I thought I should include the original for people who haven't heard Cabal Stomp. It is a bop for any time you're fighting Cabal, or just fighting in the game in general. And that sits at number 9 on our list. And you're probably wondering, what's number 8? Well, you'd be surprised. Well, actually, you shouldn't be, because it has to do with one of the most powerful villains we've ever faced, and his name was Oryx. like to say that Bungie always lives up to the big moments, and this music for the fight against Oryx was classy, and it was also very regal when you think about it. He is the Taken King after all, and that's kind of his point. His name is not John Cena, and it is Oryx, and we knew that, at least we had the inclination that when we first killed him, that he was coming back, and of course in the raid we had to go and kill him in the throne world to ensure that he could not come back, even though years later in the, I wanted to say strike, but it's a dungeon, Ghosts of the Deep, the Lucent Hive tried to resurrect Oryx, but we thwarted their efforts. But yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have heard this track again, fighting him as a light bearer, quite similarly to how we fought a la Cool, and we got to hear his cool soundtrack as well. But instead, Oryx will rest easy while we clap the cheeks of Xivu Arath, and that moves us to number 7 on the list. If you've been counting, I forgot how to count. Just kidding. And this track is also from Taken King, and it is one that is heard hearing how legends are born, Queen Marisov, and ourselves. This is a track that you can still hear in orbit if you hang out long enough, and it is one of the more beautiful ones in the game. And I mean, I feel like I don't have to really tell you why this track is so good. You can just hear it in the vocals, the piano. It screams Destiny. And how are we gonna top this? Well, actually quite easily. That leads us into number 6. And this one, you could say, is La Fontaine de Jouvence. Now, the song itself is not called The Pool of Eternal Life. It's actually just the Deep Stone Lullaby, or Deep Stone Lullaby. There's no "the" in there. But man, the crescendo. You've played the Deep Stone Crypt Raid, which I'm gonna have the pleasure of doing later tonight. You get to hear this song each and every time on the spacewalk on your way to the 4th and final encounters of the raid, and man alive, this is just such a great track. And one of the better parts of the Beyond Light expansion was experiencing this spacewalk, and it was fantastic. Again, music can enhance stuff in Destiny, and this is one of the best examples of that. You can also still hear this track in Orbit, one of the many tracks that Bungie has left there. And it is Chef's Kiss one of the best tracks out there. I'm going to be nice and let you listen to the crescendo. See, now isn't that lovely? It is lovely. Now I have to cut it off for number 5 on the list, which is a bop. Sorry for the rude interruption on your Destiny radio. Number 5 we have from Lightfall, and it's whenever you're making some bread, you know what you gotta do? You gotta get ready to roll. Okay, so this track rather, has a lot of Cabalness to it. That might be why it's here, but also, when you're driving those tanks in that one mission when this track comes on, my goodness. I mean, you're ready to roll. It's so good. And it's the reason why I think, you know, Lightfall wasn't great narratively, but this is one of the moments for me that really enhanced the campaign overall. It felt fun, and at the very least, Lightfall was fun, if not narratively good. And yeah, it was something. So that's gonna take us into number 4. We're getting close to the final entries here on the list. And number 4 we have Sepix Redux. Okay, there's 2 reasons why I love when Sepix, or Devil's Lair, is a GM. 1, it's very easy to farm. 2, I mean, you're hearing it right now, it's so good. Even though the fight is not all that complicated or hard, this music is still just a treat to listen to each and every time you are clapping those servitor eyeballs. So yeah, I don't think this needs much explanation. If this Redux didn't exist, it would be questionable putting it on this list because the drums and the guitar really elevate this, but the original is still pretty good. So here is number 3, excerpt from the Union D1 track a lot of you might not recognize. This music plays during the final boss fight of Vanilla D1, which was just fighting a black heart infested minotaur. And man, this music at the time was really cool, and this kind of falls under the Sepix thing where the fight wasn't complicated, but man, the music really elevated everything. It made it feel like what you were doing was important, even though it wasn't all that challenging, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, Exit from the Union, really good track. Marty O'Donnell, boy do I miss him, responsible for a lot of these D1 tracks. And yeah, Michael Salvatore's done a great job picking up. And that's going to lead us into number 2. Number 2 on the list is not the first array, but rather the the last array. This plays when you first establish contact with, I don't remember who it was, honestly. It was so long ago. I think it was with Rasputin, maybe? This is at least the first mention of Rasputin we hear in game. And you're just fighting an onslaught of Hive who are like, ooh, hello, how are you? Again, just another moment that kind of felt important because there was a giant array we were lifting from the ground to communicate with Rasputin. I think it was Rasputin. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, the importance was pretty big, right? You pull an array out of the ground and you're getting invaded by a bunch of Hive. And I don't know, I love horns and the drums and this was my first Destiny 1 like soundtrack love. This thing I would play on repeat. So of course I can't not have it on this list. Oh, it brings back memories. Although because I've played it so much, it is kind of lost its lust on me, or its magic, I suppose. Anyways, without further ado, I know this is a long video. I'll probably cut some stuff out here, but we have number 1 with Journey from the Destiny 2 Vanilla soundtrack. This soundtrack, or this track rather, is... I wish you could go back and play it, but it felt like one of the most impactful music pieces in D2 Vanilla. We had just lost our light, the city was in shambles, a lot of people had died, and you were on the outskirts of the city with no light, no backup, just your ghost and a submachine gun or sidearm. And man, this track hit different back then. Everything felt like it was over. And well, I'm just gonna let you listen to the part where it feels like we're about to make a comeback. So good, so good. This is also where we would meet Hawthorne, who, for a short time, was relevant in the story. I don't know if you can believe that. And yeah, pretty mind-blowing, huh? That Hawthorne would have any relevance aside from being a clan vendor. But yeah, that's what happened. And she and her buddy Lewis helped us to find the light yet again in order to take down Monsieur Dominus Gaul and win back the Traveler for everyone. And yeah, I mean, this track so good at the time, and that is why it won number 1. Anyways, let me know what you guys enjoyed most from this list. There was a song maybe or a track you hadn't heard before, and maybe there's one that you think should be on this list instead of the ones I had. That's fair enough. Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the content, subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see some more. And I'll see you guys in the next one.